everyone, it's Maddie. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to the second diabetes tag for the month of November. Again, I'm not sure when these are going to go up due to my school schedule, but I will do my best to get them up as quickly as possible. But yet again, I have 10 more questions for this week, and I'm going to answer these 10 questions, and I will leave them in the description box down below, so you can feel free to answer these questions either on my Instagram, and you can tag me, or you can do them down in the comments down below to continue to spread awareness about type 1 diabetes. This week's questions are a little bit more fun, with some other questions added in that are a little bit more serious and a little bit more in relationship to type 1 diabetes. So the first question is favorite diabetes related meme. I have lots of them, but my absolute favorite is one I posted on Instagram for type 1 diabetes awareness November of 2018. This meme I absolutely love, and it is so truthful. It says, if you could stop asking me if I can eat things, that would be great, with the guy kind of going like this. That is one of my biggest annoyances of people who don't understand what type 1 diabetes is asking me if I can eat things or eat X, Y, and Z. Yes, you can. You just need to be very aware of what your blood sugar is going to end up being, and understand that if you don't take enough insulin, you're going to go high, and understand that if you do activity with the meal, you might go low, and understanding what works for you doesn't necessarily work for everybody else, and what piece of dessert might work well with my body may not work well with you. I notice I respond to different foods way differently than maybe somebody else would, so that's the whole thing with that. But that is the meme that I absolutely love the most related to type 1 diabetes. Question 2 is, are you more likely to be dangerously high or dangerously low? High, for sure. I've seen a lot more 200s recently, just being with school and stuff, but dangerously high, I've never gone above like 280 since I've been home, and it's only been like one time I was at that 280. Recently the highest I've been has been like 230-ish, and it's not for very long because I intervene at that point. No matter how much insulin I have on board, I do intervene and take an injection just to get that down, because again, I don't want damaging blood sugars running through me. Not good for your body at all. But more likely, I guess, to be dangerously high than dangerously low, but I've gone low several times, and I've only had one really severe low in the upper 30s. Again, I've talked about that story a long time ago. So that is question 2. Question 3 is diabetes themed t-shirt you love and would love to have in your wardrobe. I've been really obsessed with like the butterfly themed diabetes shirt, so this is one I would like. It just says diabetes awareness, and it is shaped into a butterfly with the diabetes awareness ribbon and the diabetes colors of blue. As a matter of fact, I'm really into like the idea of butterflies, and if you can tell, like on my channel banner and like after my name, I always sign with the butterfly in the description boxes. If your phone or your device can read the emojis, I always sign off with a butterfly, and I'm going to do a video for the reason why I choose a butterfly is to kind of represent my channel and represent me. So I feel like that would be a really cool t-shirt to have. Number 4 is, do you test other family members or friends' blood sugars for fun? I've tested 3 people in my family already. I tested my mom like twice after a meal, and she was like 114. Very, very jealous of that, and she had like regular soda, a whole entire pastry, and a bunch of other things. Very thankful she doesn't have diabetes. I have tested my grandma one time, and she was, both the times I actually have tested her twice, and both of the times she's been in the low 90s, which is super. And then I tested my uncle one time, and he was at 120. He wasn't feeling good for a long time. He was losing weight and lethargic, and I thought, oh, maybe just check his blood sugar and see if there's something wrong there, but obviously not at a blood sugar of 120. That is totally healthy and fine. So I'm not unopen to anybody wanting to check their blood sugar, and I always have my meter and test strips with me, so at any time I can just put a new Lancet in and check anybody's blood sugar if they want to see what theirs is, if they're curious. Number 5 is, do I use a CGM or finger sticks? I use a CGM. I use the Dexcom G6 continuous glucose monitor, which gets sent right to my phone, can tell me what my blood sugar is and what direction it is heading. It does test your blood sugar from the interstitial fluid, so it is a little bit different than actually finger pricking, but I do use finger pricking twice a day in addition with the CGM to make sure A, that my CGM is working, and B, I'm always wanting to know what my blood sugar is before I go to sleep and when I wake up in the morning to know if I need to make big adjustments with my basal rate. Question 6 is, when you used to use just finger sticks, what's the most amount of times you've tested your blood sugar in a day? 20 or 21? And I remember that was more when I was honeymooning, and I remember it was more like just wanting to see what my blood sugars were after I was eating, because there was a point in time where I was only on basal insulin, because my pancreas was still working for me, and it was like a couple months after I was diagnosed, and then I was off of meal insulin for about a month, and then I had to go back on it because at that point my blood sugars were running 2 to 300-ish before meals, and at that point obviously the pancreas is no longer functioning enough to disperse insulin for meals. So about 21 times, I would say. That's the most amount of times I've tested. Number 7 is the most amount of injections that I've given myself in one day. How many injections? About 10, and this is when I was, again, on MDI. I remember I did my 4 basic injections. I did my basal injection, and then I had 3 meals that day, and then I remember I snacked once, and then I also had to correct after every meal, or I was correcting every hour and a half with little doses. This is when I was really starting to recognize that I could keep normal blood sugars if I continuously kept insulin in my body and continuously monitored my blood sugars and took a small dose when my blood sugar was like 140 or 150, to prevent a blood sugar from going higher, and then having to take a large dose to bring that blood sugar down. So about 10 injections I've given myself in one day. Now, I've probably been people that have given themselves a lot more, but that is about the most I've given, is about 10 in one day, 1 for each meal, so that's 3. My basal shot was 4. I had another snack, which was 5, and then I had to correct after each time. And then also at night with my basal rate, I believe that night I had to do a correction also with like a 1 unit or 2 units of Humalog. So that is the answer to that question. 8 is, what is the strangest item I've ever used to treat a low blood sugar? I wouldn't call it strange, but I have used chocolate milk and milk to treat low blood sugars. And that is because milk does contain lactose, which is a type of simple sugar. You can use that. That is okay. However, be mindful of the amount of fat that is in the milk. If the milk is higher in milk fat compared to like a skim milk, it's not going to work as quickly, but it worked pretty well for me. And I have used very rich chocolates to treat low blood sugars. However, this chocolate was very low in fat and higher in sugar or cocoa type based things, which again will raise blood sugars quickly. So it's not like I was treating with something that was slow digesting or not going to be able to digest quick enough for me to treat my low. But I do find using milk and chocolate a very interesting way to treat a low blood sugar, but it's not super strange. But if you would think about it, it's not like the first choice I have for lows. Usually for me it's juice, glucose tablets, fruit snacks, or Skittles. That's basically what I use on a regular to treat low blood sugars. Number 9 is my favorite and most commonly used diabetes management technique, 100% pre-bolusing. Pre-bolusing, if you don't know what that is, I have made a video on this on my channel. Pre-bolusing is taking your insulin dose and waiting 15 to 25 to 30 minutes, depending on your body, before you begin eating, to allow the insulin to enter the bloodstream first so that it better matches the carbohydrate count with your blood sugar, so that you're not going to skyrocket as quickly. I'll give you an example. Today at lunch, I had a small dinner roll on some mashed potatoes and turkey left over from the Thanksgiving here. So I had that, and I went ahead and pre-bolus, so I took my full dose. I waited 20 minutes and began eating, and my blood sugar really hasn't budged much past like 150 because of it. Now, with potatoes being a high glycemic food, if I would have chose to eat right away and not allow that insulin to enter my bloodstream first, my blood sugar would have started skyrocketing, and it probably would have went all the way up to 180, 190, crashed down, or it would have gotten to that level and sat there, because at that point the insulin cannot chase the carbohydrate. You kind of want the carbohydrate to chase the insulin. The insulin chasing the carbohydrate leads to a high. The carbohydrate chasing the insulin leads to balanced blood sugars. Now again, it depends on the meals and it depends on the foods you're eating that will determine if you're going to pre-bolus. High glycemic foods, 100% pre-bolus for. For me, that's like pastas, ice creams, desserts, 100% breakfast, no matter what kind of breakfast it is, because I get the dawn phenomenon effect. Potatoes, white breads, any basic starchy food, pre-bolus for. Rice also would be another great example. Now things that are lower in the glycemic index, like if I was going to have like chicken and broccoli or a salad or some nuts and seeds, or for me, even potato chips, I don't have to pre-bolus for because they act a little slower on me. don't pre-bolus for them. Just take your dose and start eating, and it'll better mirror what your body needs in that moment. But definitely pre-bolusing, highly recommended for anybody who is a type 1 diabetic. I do not, however, recommend it for people that have gastroparesis or slowed stomach emptying and digesting. That can cause severe low blood sugar. So if you have gastroparesis, please talk to your doctor before attempting this kind of method. But this is a method I would say that I use regularly, and that a lot of type 1 diabetics would tell you after they discovered waiting around for 15 minutes for the rapid acting insulin to begin kicking in, that they found that they have had less nasty blood sugar spikes and more even-keeled, nicer, normal blood sugars. And question 10 is, if I could describe type 1 diabetes in one word, what would that one word be? And that word for me would be intricate, because it is such a fine line between figuring out how to balance your body with your food and your activity and the way you're feeling. Because we kind of have to do that all by ourselves, because insulin is designed to manage blood sugar levels. Well, blood sugar levels can rapidly fluctuate depending on what you're doing, how you're feeling, what you eat, how much sleep you've gotten, thousands of different factors. And if you have to learn how to balance and be intricate with that, and it is a very interwebbed disease, and if you don't recognize different factors and how they affect blood sugar levels, you're not going to get anywhere. Another example, great example for me, ovulation, hormones, periods, pregnancy. For us ladies, we definitely have a lot of hormonal influences going on if we are a type 1 diabetic. So that is how I would describe type 1 diabetes. And that is the end of the second diabetes tag for the month of November 2019 Diabetes Awareness Month series. I hope you enjoyed this video. And again, if you want to answer these questions down below, go right ahead and do so. I will leave them in the description box so you can go right ahead and answer them if you'd like. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. Feel free to hit that subscribe button down below. I always continue to post videos every single week about type 1 diabetes, plus more about my life. Stay tuned. I have tons more videos coming out for you guys. Again, I'm kind of in a lull right now with Thanksgiving break and dental hygiene school. I have 2 more weeks, and then I am done with semester 1. And then again, I can recap that for you guys. And at the end of January, I'll be in semester 2, and I will be at the end of May, I will be 1 year done with dental hygiene school. That's absolutely crazy to me how far I've come with managing a condition and going to school. It's amazing how far I've come in my management and recognizing how to manage this disease. And I've been able to share a lot of that experience with you guys and just interact with you guys. And it's mean the world to me to be able to use this disease as a advocacy and as a learning tool for other people. And that's just a beautiful thing to me, that I'm going to be using this disease as something that I can share with other people, and that I'm taking this disease and putting it into something positive. So until next time for another video, take care, God bless, be kind, spread positivity, and be thankful. I love you all so much. Bye, everyone.